Hello and welcome to GOA365 News Now. I am Subhashish and these are the headlines. Hindustan Petroleum hosts consumer awareness program, seeks to resolve issues raised by consumers. Ongoing IFFI sees filmmakers seeking to show animated films huge potential, striving to differentiate animation from cartoon image. Knife attack at Irish school sparks riots, violence in capital Dublin. Protesters clash with cops after attack leaves 3 children, woman injured. And now for the news in detail. It seems like tout culture is flourishing in the state and government offices continue to remain susceptible to it. Congress leader Elvis Gomes has alleged that the BJP-led government is encouraging the tout culture and has called on the government to take action on them.
Emphasizing the need for the government to take swift action to put an end to the exploitation of the public by touts, Congress leader Elvis Gomes demanded government to introduce a help desk to facilitate the general public. He further called on the government to publicly declare the names of the agents operating in government offices and to regulate their fees to prevent the public from being taken advantage of.
कालचे तुमच्या मिडियान जेन्ना ते ऑफिसरांक विचारले and they have said that they will streamline it आणि म्हाकाय आता सांगला आमी गेल्ले तांकां सांगला की they will streamline it. We hope की this will be streamlined आणि लोकांक हितूंतल्यान जस्टीस मेळटली की लोकांक लुटपाची कामां ही कमी जातली और एलिमिनेट जातली. बरें गव्हर्नन्स म्हणटा तें हें असलें आसपाकूच जायना. जाता तितली लोकांचो इंटरफेस कमी करपाक जाय ऑफिसरां बरोबर काय ऑफिशलां बरोबर आनी एक फॅसिलिटेशन डेस्क घालूंक जाय आनी हांगाच न्ही इट कॅन बी फ्रॉम एनीवेअर ऑनलायन. आज हे जस्ट 21st सेंचुरीन जर असली कामां आयकपाक मेळटा जाल्यार इट इज शेमफूल फॉर द गव्हर्नमेंट. दीस अ इमेज प्रॉब्लेम फॉर द डिपार्टमेंट. आतां ह्या लोकांक सोंपेपण करपाक जो सरकार सांगतालो सरकार तुमच्या दारी हो बीजेपी सरकार सांगतालो सरकार तुमच्या दारी आनी ताच्या फाटल्यान 20 कोटी मोडले सरकार तुमच्या दारी. आतां लोक दार उगडून बसल्या सरकारच दिसना म्हणून आमकां आज हांगा येवचें पडलें सरकाराच्या दारी पळोवपाक कितें चल्लां तें. हांगा पळयलें जाल्यार लोकांचे फक्त मारामारी. हांगा एक फॅसिलिटेशन कावंटर घालचो कित्याक जे बारीक लोक येता तांकां कळना हाव टू गेट देअर वर्क डन. तांकां डिफिकल्टी फॅक्टर वाडटा. मोठो मनीस तुका हांगा दिसतना हॅव यू सीन एनीबडी नाव सुटीड बुटीड कोण तरी हांगा दिसतलो दिसतोच ना कित्याक तांचे ते ऑलरेडी एजंट्स काम करून दितले. हांगा सफर जाता तो कॉमन मॅन आनी ह्या कॉमन मॅना खातीर एक खरें म्हणजे हांगा इतले लोक येता आनी ग्रिव्हन्सीस वाडटा म्हणून सोपो उपाय म्हणटा तो मे आय हेल्प यू असो एक डेस्क जर ताणें घालीत जाल्यार हें प्रॉब्लेम सुटावें जातलें. मागीर ते कोण एजंट चड पयशे घेता कमी पयशे घेता हो प्रश्न उरपाचो ना. आतां तुमचे कडेन जर काम जायना आनी तुमकां जर एजंटच जाय कित्याक तुमकां वयल्यानसान एजंट लागतात सगळे डिलिंगां करपाक. हांगाय जर लोक एजंट जाय जाल्यार एक तुमी एजंट ऑफिशियली अपॉयंट करचे ऑर्डर काडून तांची नांवां घालून आनी तांची टॅरीफ कितली ती ह्या कामाक उमके.
आज आमी सब रजिस्टरान आयिल्ले की लोकांचे खुबशे कंप्लेन हांगा येवपाक लागल्यात. म्हणजे हांगा नवीन फॅसिलिटेटर जावपाक लागल्यात. म्हणजे कोंकणी शब्दान ताका दलालूय म्हणल्यार कोता येता आनी प्रत्येक क्षणान प्रत्येक डिपार्टमेंटान दलाली वाडल्यात आनी दलाली वाडल्याक लागून लोकांक हांगा त्रास जाता.
देर आर पीपल हू कम विथ सूट बूट. तसले एजंट हांवें पळयले आपले सूट बूट घालून येतात डायरेक्ट भितर वतात आनी हें म्हजें काम हें म्हजें काम हें म्हजें काम. बरें हें जर ताजें काम आसा तो डेली आमी कितें करता. हे मनीस डेली आसता तुमी पळयात आमी ऑफ हँड पळयत आसता हे मनीस तो सांगपाचो ऑफिसांनी प्रत्येक ऑफिसांनी ज्या पळय इन्चार्ज आसा ताणें हाजी सामकी इमिजिएटली खबरदारी घेवपाक जाय. पयलीं म्हणटा म्हजो रिक्वेस्ट प्रत्येक ऑफिसरा कडेन जावं तो सब रजिस्ट्रार जावं तो सर्वेयर जावं तो ISLR तांचे कडेन की बाबा एक मनीस गव्हर्मेंटाक ताणें इन रायटींग बरोवपाचें की बाबा एक मनीस आमकां दिया एज अ PRO. दॅट पर्सन वील बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर एनी पर्सन. ताका एक व्हडली लायन लागून न्ही बाबा म्हाका तूं हें जर तूं मेळपाक जाय हें फॉर्म कशें भरप तातूंत कितें कितें जाय पडटा हें सगळें काम PROचें.
Sandeep Tuekar, Manish Parab and Sangeeta Oli for GOA365.
Animation in India has been growing at a much slower pace than the rest of the world. However, at the ongoing International Film Festival, filmmakers showed that animated films have huge potential. Filmmakers are now striving to give the animation industry a push in an effort to get rid of the cartoon perception. Here's more.
Animated films and series are gaining popularity in the Indian film industry. Indian animators and studios are creating visually stunning and culturally relevant content contributing to the global animation scene. The success of movies like Bahubali The Beginning and the rise of animated series on streaming platforms are indicative of this growing trend.
We are working on animation for almost 15 years now. Quite some time we tried to remain in a cartoon film space. So unfortunately animation in India had stuck into that cartoon films domain. If you really look at the way visual narration for kids happening, serious work after Amar Chitra Katha, there is not much happened. You know, when we talk about Japan or when we talk about West, there is a huge visual storytelling, comic books, graphic novels. There is a huge market, and which gradually extended or graduated towards becoming an animation product. India, we lost it somewhere. But somewhere we decided to take it out of cartoon films domain, and we did a film in which we also got a very good support and involvement of very big Bollywood director and producer Harry Baweja. And we did a film called Char Sahibzade, which tells the story about Guru Gobind Singh's 4 sons and their sacrifices. And that's the biggest animation film, but it's the biggest Punjabi film also. It commercially crossed 100 odd crores. It still runs in Punjab. And what something more which we learned and then we tried to apply in this film also. What has happened is, if you really, how deep content can go, that if you go to Punjab or if you go to Amritsar and if you look for posters of Char Sahibzades, today the posters are used using the characters from the film. Okay. Now, what is important here is that when we use a Bollywood actor to play such a serious character, historic character or religious character, the life of that character remains till this Bollywood actor goes into the next film. Where animation is really helping it is that whatever we create visually, that remains permanent. So you have some actor playing Tanaji today and then some actor again going and playing an inspector somewhere else. The Tanaji is forgotten and that inspector role comes in the prominence. Now that is where we realized in animation, and then we are now focusing on history. We have a lot of projects coming in animation domain. In between we did a film again in Punjabi called Motherhood, which was on Guru Gobind Singh's wife, and that was the first film which got released in British Parliament. It premiered in British Parliament. So animation from India is also picking up, but yeah, we have to just move it out of the cartoon domain, and we are lucky to have chance to learn from people like Sujit sir, because it is helping us to understand the grammar and create a new grammar for how to incorporate animation into mainstream. So yeah, it's an experiment, and fortunately we have been lucky all throughout. So let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Subhashish Goekar and Nikhil Zalmi for GOA365.
We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Consumer is king, and this stands true for every business, be it product or service. Fuel being one of the most used commodities, HPCL organized an awareness campaign to clear any doubts on the quality and quantity of fuel provided through its outlets.
We have been in this business for more than 100 years. All of us are selling fuel. The technology has evolved over a period of time. But somewhere we find that the trust, there is some deficit in terms of customers feeling that whatever they are paying, whether they are getting the fuel or not. So there is a slight trust deficit still. We have been investing in technologies like automation. All our pumps are connected centrally where we can monitor the product delivery as well as quality. That apart, we are also reaching to the customers to explain them the kind of safeguards that we have in our system, the kind of controls, the kind of checks that we do. So this is a unique program where the government of Goa has joined hands with us, and in fact they have nudged us to create some kind of a customer awareness program so that customers will be more aware on what they are getting at the fuel pumps. So there are simple checks that are required to be done, probably density if somebody wants to check, or maybe quality, quantity, there is a 5-liter measure. So all these checks are available in the pump, which they can check for themselves and then get satisfied. Our ultimate objective is that every customer in Goa should get satisfied from the type of products that we are delivering. We are also reaching out to the public not only in the outlet premises, but we are going into their colonies with our videos showing the kind of controls that we have right from our refinery to the end point. How do we transport the product, what kind of quality checks we have, and how we deliver to the customer.
IS Sanjit Rodriguez, who is the Secretary for Legal Metrology, was also present for the program, and this is what he had to say.
Consumer Affairs Department today is key in giving this consumer awareness. We have partnered with HPCL आणि हो प्रोग्राम जो घडोवन हाडला कस्टमरांक आनी ह्या कंज्युमरांक दाखोवपाक खबर फ्युअल पंपार गेलो जाल्यार तांचो डिस्पेन्सिंग युनीट कसो आसतलो तो भितरल्यान कसो ऑपरेट जाता आनी कितें चॅक करपाचें तांची डेन्सिटी कशी चॅक करपाची मेजर कसो चॅक करपाचो सारकेंच पेट्रोल येता उणें येता कमी येता ते कशें चॅक करपाचें ही म्हायती कंज्युमराक आसपाक जाय फाटल्यान उलोवन फायदो ना पयले जेन्ना फ्युअल पॉयंट आसा त्या पॉयंटार तुमी फ्युअल भरतात त्या पॉयंटार हे प्रश्न विचारपाचे आनी म्हायती आसल्यार जायतेचे प्रश्न सुटावे जातात सो वी आर ब्रिंगिंग दीस कंज्युमर अवेरनेस campaign this week. This program is held in Vastu. This is the first program. We are going to have it at 2 other HPCL units, one in Margaon and one in Telangana. आम्ही ॲक्च्युली this program हो केला म्हणजे with HPCL आमच्या कंपनीन केल्लो आसा in association with Legal Metrology Department. Wherein both the department as well as the companies come together to spread awareness. आता सेक्रेटरी बाबान सांगल्याप्रमाणे there are lot of misconceptions are going on around आमचे पेट्रोलियम ट्रेडाचे खूप लोकांचे एक विचार आसा की हांगा कानान घालतात तशें करतात चॅटिंग करतात ताजे बद्दल अवेरनेस करपा लागून हो प्रोग्राम केला तुमच्या फुड्यान लायव्ह डेमो दाखयल्लो आसा कशें आमी क्वॉलिटी आनी क्वांटिटी कंट्रोल दवरतात.
Goa Can Secretary Lorna Fernandez was also in the attendance for the program. Listen to the kind of complaints received by them pertaining to fuel services.
As you come across the customers, what all complaints you get?
See, yesterday itself I received a WhatsApp message asking me about this density and the, where will I find the paper, the filter paper that is, or what kind of paper to use. We have also received complaints like, when people fill up their tanks, the tank is empty, but when you fill up the tank, sometimes you fill up on an empty tank, it's 39, say a bigger car, it's 39 liters. The next time you go to fill up, it's 41 liters. So there is this kind of confusion, and I personally have faced this. And when you look into the owner's manual of the car company, it does not tell you the capacity of the fuel tank. So even car companies need to make sure that the fuel capacity, the tank capacity needs to be mentioned so that we can make an assessment.
Hiru Mahale, Subhashish Govekar and Nikhil Zalmi for GOA365.
Ireland capital Dublin was gripped by riots and violence following a knife attack outside a school in north-central Dublin, which seriously injured a 5-year-old girl. A woman and 2 other children also sustained injuries in the incident.
The attack sparked a wave of anger and frustration among the local community, and a group of far-right protesters took to the streets to vent their fury. The protesters clashed with police, set vehicles on fire and looted stores. The city woke up to scenes of devastation and destruction with smoldering vehicles and looted stores scattered throughout the city centre. Authorities are investigating the attack and working to restore order in the city. So far, 34 people have been arrested in connection with the overnight riots. The event underscores the deep tensions and divisions that have been brewing in Dublin and throughout Ireland.
Well, people will say, why weren't you monitoring social media, the far-right groups who you say exacerbated the situation? Why didn't you move quicker when you saw the build-up of tensions both online and on the streets?
Well, the build-up of tensions as you describe on social media, we were monitoring those and we were constantly then adding to our resources that were available in DMR North Central. That was an ongoing part of the operation, and we did respond. But it has to be said that the crowds of those in the first place protesting, filled with hate directed towards members of An Garda Síochána, were then supplemented with those who were only intent upon crime, disorder and the looting of premises. And one can see this morning, particularly sports type shops were specifically targeted. Now, Gardaí reacted quickly to that and were able to clamp down on that looting, but we responded as the events unfolded. But I don't think at 1:30, as the original events unfolded, or indeed later in the mid-afternoon, we could have anticipated such disorder.
The GRA has said that this is a failure of training, it's a failure of resources, it's a failure of personnel, that these are problems they have spoken about for a long time, and they also say that's clear in what happened last night, and we saw shocking scenes where individual Gardaí were isolated and pursued and attacked.
Well, this is not a failure of personnel. All members of An Garda Síochána responded to this. Everyone stood up to the plate in terms of their response. I now have to look to the tactics that we have for public order. We have not seen public order situation like this before. This may be behaviour which is apparent in other countries, but I think that we've seen an element of radicalisation. We have seen a group of people who take literally a thimble full of facts and make a bathtub of assumptions, hateful assumptions, and then conduct themselves in a way which is riotous and disruptive to our society. We then have to respond to that in terms of our tactics and training. But there's no failure here. There's no failure. This is regrettably how protests have moved on, and now we have to graduate and have a proportionate response.
Manish Parab and Omkar Deshprabhu for Goa 365.
We will take another short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now for the weather. The yellow alert is in place until the 27th only. We were anticipating an extension to the warning, but the duration for which Goa is under alert for thunder showers remains the same, from the 24th until the 27th.
Now Friday did go by mostly dry, but we are anticipating rain on Saturday. There is a yellow alert issued for the day, and forecasters warn we could have thunderstorms that are accompanied by lightning and strong winds. Wind speeds are expected to enter the gale category, with speeds expected to reach 40 km per hour. Citizens are urged to stay indoors as far as possible in case of a storm. The maximum and minimum are predicted to hover around 34 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius on Saturday, but if it rains, actual values may be a few degrees lower. Rain forecast till 29th, weather to turn dry after 29th. Yellow alert raised on 25th, 26th and 27th. Thunderstorms, strong breeze and lightning forecast. Maximum and minimum temperatures on Saturday 34 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius respectively. Partly cloudy skies predicted on Saturday. No alert sent out for boat owners along Goa coast. Bureau report, Goa 365 with inputs from IMD.
With that, we have come to the end of this news bulletin. For more news and updates, log on to our website www.goa365.tv. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Goa365TV. Until next time, take care, stay safe and keep watching Goa 365.